Good evening and welcome back to the UK SimRacers Autumn League Round 1 live from Sandown in Australia. Current track length of 3.13 kilometers with 8 left turns, 5 right turns, 4 races this evening, all 15 minutes long and 15-minute quali with no fast repairs. It's going to be absolutely epic. I am James Parfitt and I'll be bringing you all the action with Daan Pepels, broadcast live on the JPB YouTube channel. So if you are here for the first time, please, please, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button as well, and turn on the bells for all those notifications. That would be absolutely incredible. So, in the Summer League, Craig Jones won the AMs, Pete Van Gool won the Pros, and I think it's about time to bring in Daan into the booth. Daan, how are you?
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, James. Yeah, I am doing very well at the moment. Once again, after 2 weeks, we're back with the UK SimRacers.
Yes, we are, and what an outstanding season it was last time out. Mr. Van Gool taking the Pro win, and Mr. Jones taking the AM win as well. So it's going to be an absolutely epic season. Craig Jones is staying in the AMs this season. He wants to take the overall victory at the end of this season because they do take into consideration the spring, the summer and the autumn. And we will bring you the overall scores next week, guys, as well. So welcome in chat, Mr. Adam Hedgecock. My man, my friend, the boy who's always on target. Welcome in to chat there as well. MX5s are usually a good blast to watch. Mate, you are not going to be disappointed with this one. It's going to be absolutely incredible. So, Dan, you know, Sandown, new track to us, new track to the MX5s here at UK SimRacers. What can we expect?
Well, to be honest, James, I didn't know the track myself either when I heard of the name. I looked it up, and if you actually look at the track, it provides for some very good racing. Long straights, heavy braking zones, which is normally a good concept for overtaking.
Yeah, and we've got the uphill undulation as well as downhill braking, as we can see Craig Crawford there braking up into turn 6. Now, we don't have any corner names tonight, guys. We've got straight, easy circuit, 1 to 13. What can go wrong, Dan, with easy numbers like 1 to 13?
Actually, normally I find corner names less difficult than numbers because you can mix them up.
Yes, you can.
So,
but we've only got to count 1 to 13, Dan. You know what I mean? It can't be that hard, can it, surely?
yeah, normally it would, but at this track, like I said to you before we went live, there are a lot of corners here that actually you can't really call corners.
No, and I think that's the thing. They've got, obviously, we'll go on board with Craig Crawford as we go down into turn 1. As we race down to the right, left of 2 and 3. What we'll do is stay on board with Craig, and we'll bring you the corners that we don't think are necessarily corners. Now, we go round turn 4, the left-hander, and then we go on this straightaway that takes us up to turn 5. There you go, there's turn 5. Now, if anybody wants to debate if that is a corner, please let me know, because we don't think it is at all. And can it be classed as a corner there, Dan?
Maybe on a motorcycle, but that's everything I can imagine as it being classed as a corner.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think as we go through 7 and 8 and then we're coming into 9, that's definitely a corner. But then they class turn 10, which is about now, as a corner as well. And I think that's where we've turned around and gone, well, it's not really a corner, is it, as we go around 11 and 12. And then they've got 13, which is this left kink here, as a corner as well. And I think, to be fair, you could probably take out 2 or 3 corners out of that aren't really corners, are they?
Yeah, well, the last one we saw there was turn 13. I think on a motorcycle that is a genuine corner, but in a car you can just straight line it.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. The Sandown's quite a new track to us here, and only whoa, as we see Jamie Ayres there taking a little bit of a dive out off the side. You know, and it's only been in iRacing a season, I believe. It came out last season. So, you know, at the end of the day, I think it's really debating on the circuit itself. Now, we've got a couple of new liveries this season as well. We'll have a quick look back through them. Dale Bennison, by the work card by result, as you can see on the bottom left of your screen, has changed livery this evening. So, yeah, so that is Dale Bennison. And also, I believe the other one is Sir Alan Toon, who is in the green and black there, car number 65. He's also changed liveries by the work guide by results. Swift Extortionless, good afternoon, gentlemen. Well, we're in the UK and Dan's in Holland, so it's good evening, but welcome in. Thank you so much for joining us as well. We're in for another absolutely epic season of racing. And we're expecting, well, Dan, I think that it's a tough one because this league produces such amazing racing. You know, we saw it last season, last race at Silverstone National, and they were 4 wide.
Yeah. It's well, we just know it's not only not last race, but all the other races that I have done commentary on together with you, they've always provided, which is something that, well, they just never disappoint. It doesn't matter which circuit it is.
No, exactly, and I think it's, if you haven't seen this league, guys, for the first time, please, you know, you can fully understand where we're coming from here as well, because this is just absolutely incredible racing. And I think we're going into qualifying now. We've got 15 minutes. You're going to see the cars flooding out. It is open quali, so be aware as well. You are going to get all of the cars on track currently, and they're all being led away by car number 72, Steve Hefford, who is here as well, with the other Momo guys, which is Pete Van Gaal and Jamie Ayres, and that is Daniel Hunt in the background, taking a little bit of a wider line. We've got Elise Main as well back in the series this for the autumn as well, Dan. You know, she was so consistent last season. It was just unbelievable, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it is exactly that consistency. I think that got her P2 in the summer championship in the end.
Yeah, exactly. Good evening, then. I'm UK as well, my bad. Swift. What did you do? Lose track of the time, mate? It's just got 8 o'clock. Poor old Swift there, getting a little bit lost. As we see Elise Main currently second on track there as well. And then we've got Roger Morton. He's also in a new safeguard livery, looking black and menacing this season there as well. And obviously we can't forget our very own Sir of the circuit there, Sir Alan Toon. Just realised I used to be in this series a few years back. Went by a different name though. Yes, they went by, I believe they went by BSR as well. So I think, Mr. Hedgecock, you were probably involved with the BSR league there, that you can, that's probably where it went to. And then it went over to UkSimracers. And this is the current, what we've got currently at the moment. So yeah, so that where it was, where the change come from, Mr. Hedgecock. So there you go, a little bit of background there. So there we go.
James.
Yes.
Just go back to Roger Morton once again.
Can I go back to Roger Morton? Of course I can, Dan. There you go.
I want to point on that livery because I think, James, that we saw it in the last race of last season. If my memory is working with me here, I think we did see it, and I think you pointed out that he was running a different livery to all the other races.
I don't think, yeah, I did, but I don't think it was that one. I don't think it was that one he ran. Maybe he debuted. I don't know. Yes, BSR MX5s and the BSRTC. I was a steward in this series. Well, Mr. Hedgecock, if you want to come and join in, you know, they're not taking any new recruits this one because we're obviously halfway through their, well, we're in the last third of their overall season But you're more than welcome to come along, and if you want to get involved next time, come along and we see you on track. We can have another chat. You know, seem to be everywhere you are currently at the moment, young sir. So come along and have another, join in the booth, and you can come and have another chat with me like we normally do. And we always talk about how you're on target, regardless even if you're off target. And I will say one thing, Dan, when me and Mr. Adam Hedgecott do get in chat together, we don't really do a normal interview. It's more two guys down the pub having a chat about the race and, well, how on target he was to finish 8th, and that's where he wanted to be. So we spend more time laughing than we do actually having an interview. So there you go. You know what I mean? Once you make friends in this community, you kind of make them for life. And this is where we're at with me and Mr. Hedgecott. I'm a man in demand. Yeah, you and me both, mate. You and me both. So don't forget, guys, as well, we've got a lot of action coming up on the JPB YouTube channel as well. We got Radical Race Series is taking place on a Thursday evening. That will be restreamed to the JPB YouTube channel. And then we start again with a Radical Sim Racing Endurance season on Sunday. So there you go. So the Radical Endurance season will be on Sunday. So please, please come along for them as well. We'll be about 20 to 8 on Thursday. We'll be live. And obviously on Sunday, we'll be about the same time. Make me mod, please, says my co-commentator. Shall I really, guys, make him mod? What do we reckon? There you go, you could be a moderator. So we've got a lot going on over the next few weeks on the JPB YouTube channel, guys, as well. We've got the Next Gen GT3 series next Wednesday. That is at the Fuji circuit. And then we start the UTC round 1 and 2. So the United Touring Car Championship is back round 1 and 2, Saturday the 24th. And then we're starting off on the Friday, the 23rd, the FBL Sprint World Cup now it is from Europe, and then at 1 AM we've got the FBL World Cup in Americas. So there you go, there's a lot going on, so keep an eye on the JPB YouTube channel. If you are here for the first time, as I say, subscribe, like, and turn on the bells for notifications. Daniel, sorry I'm late, but I'm here now. Well, Dan, if you turn on your bells for notification, mate, you wouldn't miss the start. Isn't that right, Dan?
That's absolutely right.
Oh, he is here. Okay, he's too worried talking in YouTube that he is actually worried about what he's doing in the booth. But currently we've got Pete Newman on the pole on a 120.88, the only man currently in the 120s, and we've got Steve Hefford on a 121.39. Darrell Wright currently leading the AMs on a 122.17 there as well, with Roger Morton second in the AMs, 9th overall on 122.82. So it's going to be a close one, guys, so keep an eye out of all the scores, of the times on your left-hand side, okay, because you are going to not want to miss any of them, and I'll bring you up their best times currently, as you can see. Zach Sweeney, hello. Hello, he says. Craig Jones, always late, down. Yeah, well, we can't really help that, Craig, can we? You know what I mean? Some people just haven't got their bells turned on, Dan. Oh, Craig, so they need to have the bells on. That's what they do. And Craig Jones, you know, see, you've opted for another season in AMS when I probably am aware, if I'm not wrong, you had a choice to go over to pros. And you didn't, because you want to take the overall AM victory for the year, if I'm not mistaken. And that is why he didn't opt to go into pros for the autumn season.
Wouldn't you, James? If you could win a class?
Well, to be fair, he's already won 2, so, you know, he might as well sit back and take the 3rd one before he debuts in the winter in the pros. And then we're going to see how Craig Jones gets on then as well, because he's always racing up the front. He's always naturally fast. We know Craig, you know, him and Ralph Cullinan. Please don't get them in the interview booth at the same time, because trust me, it is just chaos. But he does want to overall take the overall, Dan, and I think that's the thing. I would as well. I think if I've taken 2, I want the 3rd one.
Yeah, well, I would be the exact same. If you can win a class, I would immediately go for it. And that's because I normally don't win a class. So
yeah, no, me neither, mate. That's why I'm in the booth. No one asked me, Craig. Well, that's it. I'm going to put it in the Discord, Craig. Craig for pros, please. After tonight. So there we go. You've done it now, mate. That's it. You're going to be in the pros there. Me and the boss, Charles Kellerman, are, you know, we're tight, mate. We're tight. So I'm sure if I put a request in to Charles to say, you know, here, make Craig a pro, he probably would. So we got 120.87 and a 120.876 and 874 for Daniel Hunt and Pete Newman. So we're talking 0.02 of a second there, Dan. It's going to be a close one between them two, I think, this season.
Yeah, we've seen it last season in the summer season, and I think it's going to continue in the autumn season as well.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, right? Because it goes over 3 seasons. Yes, they take the season championship. You know, Pete Van Gool and Craig Jones did it last season. But they've got all to play for in this season. So you can almost afford, Dan, I think, to have one bad season. Not, you know, you keep it to a bare minimum of badness, don't get me wrong. But you can afford to not be there again.
Yeah, I think it's a nice concept to have kind of 3 seasons in one championship. I think that's right.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. And there's going to be a poll up in chat as well, guys, where you can all vote here this evening, and you'll see what it's about. You'll see what it's about when I've just finished typing it, and ask the community, and it's up and ready. There you go, Mr. Hedgecock. Craig Jones for pro, he says.
Exactly.
Only driver to not set a time is Craig, and close for pole. Yes, Zach, it is close for pole. 874 and 876. So get your votes in now, guys, as well, and let us know, should Craig Jones be pro for the rest of the season after tonight? If it is a resounding yes, I'm going to put it towards the boss man here on our screen, Charles Kellerman. So there we go. Pete Newman, however, is flying currently. He's on a 120.88. 1,000th of a 2,000th of a second behind behind Daniel Hunt. So it's going to be, ooh, that's a lot of curb, and that ain't going to do him any well because that's registered as an off track.
Yeah. Well, James, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're 2,000s behind, you still start the same amount of meters behind the one in first.
Yeah, it's like 2 meters back, isn't it, on the opposite side? Yeah.
So
oh, Craig's got a lot of work to do. Apparently he crashed out. Said no, just for banter. Zach Sweeney, thank you very much for that. Daniel, come on, Craig, set a time. He can't, mate. He's crashed. He's not happy. He's set 1.97 laps. So there we go. So he's already done his thing. But let's have a look and see what happened to Craig Jones in qualifying. So there is Craig there, car number 29. He's going round, he's going round, he's going round, there's a barrier, and that is what happened to poor old Craig Jones. Well, that's enough to kill your car, Dan, don't you think?
Yeah, that's going to make for a fun race for him. It's not going to be a home run from the pole in the Outlaws now.
No, I think so as well, but Zach in chat has got it right. Craig, go last to first overall, and then you could be pro. Well, there you go. I think that's going to be the overall. We'll see if Craig can get moving up the field. Unfortunately, he did crash out. Craig, I'm surprised you haven't stopped, though, because you do have time to go back, get a new car, and come back out again. So, you know, a bit of a surprise that Craig Jones did overall not do anything. But look, at the end of the day, it's all choices, choices, choices. As we see Pete Newman there as well. That's car number 675. That's Mick Barry. Mick Barry is also rocking a new livery. He's not in the red and white of the Results Clothing, guys, which is normally part of the team with Ralph Cullinan and Craig Jones there. So look, there is Mick Barry. Now, you know, anybody that doesn't know what Mick Barry did in Interlagos 2 seasons ago, I'll get them all sorted out. The videos will be brought in to the channel, and I will show you the previous seasons. But Mick Barry, overall, Interlagos, took the AM win, the only person to take an AM overall at that point. And let's just say I woke up my house because I was screaming frantically down.
I've actually, after you said that, I've had a watch back at the race. Not only was it a good race, but I had shivers down my spine once Mick Barry crossed the line. It was amazingly commentated by you, man.
It was.
I have to say. But yeah, Daniel Hunt improved his time. He's now on pole position with a 120.861. Opened up the gap.
Oh, sad times. Stop going on about Mick. Can't help it, Craig. It was my highlight of one of my seasons. So there you go. Good old Mick Barry taking it. And I loved it, Craig, and I don't care what you say. So there we go. But I think this season's going to be no different. You know what I mean? 127 on the clock. 120.861 from Daniel Hunt. 120.876 from Pete Newman. So Dan Hunt has extended it, Dan. You know, he's opening up a little bit of gap. And it should be a good one.
Yeah, the one that I'm looking at on my timer screen now is Ralph Cullinan, purple in the second sector. So he might be one to look for once he comes across the line now.
Yeah, I think Ralph there as well from the results clothing, guys, it is going round turn 5. We have had the discussion about whether or not turn 5's a turn. You know, everybody says it can be and everybody says it can't be. So there we go. We'll have to see what happens there as well. Stop going on about Mick. Oh, good old Mick Barry, did the job. So proud of him I was, bless him, as well. Can't not talk about greatness, Craig. And, you know, we talk about you and your 2 victories that you go on about, and then you tell us not to talk about somebody else who did an amazing job. But at times have slowed down as we're coming down towards the end of the session. Ralph Cullinan is currently on 2 yellows down. I don't think he's going to massively improve. Currently on a 121.61. If he can get into the 120s, he'll move up into 3rd, but that's going to be a big ask from Mr. Cullinan as well. And currently, I have to wait for his time to come across, but I don't believe he made it this time.
And 122.078 this time round.
Oh, Craig, stop being grouchy. Yawn. Only because you didn't get a lap in. So we've got currently 18 cars on track. We've got Craig Jones and Martin Sampson now who have not set times. So there we go. Craig, you wouldn't have to watch if you didn't, Craig. This is true, Zach. This is true. Give him grief. He gives me grief every week. You're more than welcome to give him grief. But we do have a 12-week season there as well, Dan, and we've got some great tracks this season. I think we are in for an absolute epic treat.
Yeah. We're coming to the end of qualifying now. A couple of people still out on track, but no greens across the board anymore. So, yeah, I think the pole position time from Daniel Hunt will stay.
Yeah, I believe it will as well. I don't think anybody is really in the hunt almost to take pole position from Hunt. Bob-omb. There you go. My one pun from Quali. I'm sure there'll be more through the race, so tune in, guys. You can write down the amount of puns I come across with. Very true. I like listening to James's voice. Oh, thanks, Craig. However, Craig was there when I sounded like a squeaky toy one week during last season as well. Well, I did not sound well. Completely lost my voice and did broadcast in the end. I left Biggles, and I think it was Michael who did it for me because I couldn't speak. So there we go. But there you go, guys. We've come to the end of quali. I will bring up the grid when the results come in, and we can see how everybody pans out. Just wait for Charles Kellerman here as well. He's stopped on track, wandering around car number 67 from the optical green. So here we go. We're going to be up and running very shortly. We'll just wait for Charles to decide if he's going to come round and finish, or if he's going to go back.
I think it's that last thing that he's going to do. At least it looks like it.
Waiting patiently. Right, so there we go. The grid is up and ready to go. Dan, why don't you take us through it?
It is Daniel Hunt taking the first pole position of the autumn season. Pete Newman is alongside him in P2. Jamie Ayres in P3. P4 is for Steve Heffert. P5 for Ralph Cullinan. Mick Barry takes pole position in the AM class in P6 overall. Piet van Gool behind him. Did expect more from him after he became our summer season champion. Elise Main in P8, once again consistent. In 9th, it's called Jacqueline. P10 for Darrell Wright, P2 in the AM class. 11th for Roger Morton and P3 in the AM class. Charles Kellerman in 12th. 13th, Dale Bennison. 14th, Steve Hansford. 15th, Sir Alan Toon. 16th, Greg Crawford. 17th, Martin Sampson. And 18th, Craig Jones.
All right, guys, so there we go. You can see the cars on track. Looming gladiators of the MX5 series, just waiting for Daniel Hunt to appear. Hopefully for Daniel, there will be no issues this season, as we saw a couple of disconnects that did cause us some wonderful illustrations of Dan Hunt's talents, i.e. disconnecting on the start. And unfortunately for him, it didn't go anywhere, but we've got the 5 lights. We are up and we are running, guys. Daniel Hunt on the right, car number 7. Pete Newman, car number 118, as they go racing down into the left-hander of turn 1. We've got 18 cars on track, and currently everybody has made it through, currently cleanly at the moment. Jamie Ayres and Steve Hefford are going at it then, and there's more action at the back with Darrell Wright, who's gone off track currently as well. Dale Bennison, Craig Jones there as well, car number 29. He's tiptoeing his way through. As we saw, the changes on the MX5 have caused problems for some of these drivers, Dan, and they're not all loving the new setup.
No, they don't. Darrell Wright with a terrible start. He lost 4 positions. Biggest gainers, Martin Sampson with 5 positions gained. He is up into P12.
Yeah, Martin Sampson, P12, Steve Hansford up 3, Roger Morton up 1, Hefford up 1 as well, as these guys go racing down into turn 7. We've got a left-right kink, and then we're going to be off as well. Daniel Hunt trying to keep the car on track. There is no issue so far for any of these drivers, Dan, which is, you know, it's unusual for the season opener because, you know, you've got the driver nerves and then you've got everybody sort of getting a little bit nervous. But these guys have made it through lap 1 without any problem.
Yeah, it's once again settling into your rhythm. Not made it past lap 1 yet, James. Don't say that too early, but we're coming across the line now, and we can say we have completed lap 1 without a crash.
Absolutely there as well. So that is all done and dusted. Lap 1 under your belt from these guys here this evening, and they have all completed it without any problems, apart from this young sir, Steve Hansford, who was, unfortunately, he has had an incident, has been off track and has now jumped into the pits from the optical green there as well. So there's action further back there as well. Carl Jacquelet, currently in 9th overall. Martin Sampson making his way up through the order, currently up 7 positions after starting at the back, has made an absolute barnstorming start there from Martin Sampson. But this is where the action is, Dan. You know, these pockets of cars, Pete Newman, Steve Hefford, Jamie Ayres, Ralph Cullinan and Mick Barry, it's going to be 12 minutes remaining. You know, these guys are going to close up to each other.
Yeah, it's at the big slide there from Steve Hefford. It's that section there, James. It's really, really tricky because the car is really unsettled through the first part, and then you have to throw it into the second part. These MX5s do not like it.
No, you've got to literally throw the car in there, as Ralph Cullinan is under major attack from Jamie Ayres. He's trying to go forward to Steve Hefford, but he can't get forward if he's driving so defensively. And we know how good the Momo guys are. We've got Momo results, and Momo, which seems to be a consistent thing. Like we've seen it a load of time last season, where we got these guys, Momo results, Clothing, Momo results, and Momo all together and locked in a battle. Of course, they've got one more, but that team member is all the way down in 14th place currently at the moment. So we'll have to keep an eye and see how Craig Jones gets on and whether or not he can make his way through the field. Currently sitting in 14th, up 4 at the moment. But this is kind of seems where the action is, you know, and I think we can just kind of focus on this section of cars here, because we've got Ralph Cullinan, Jamie Ayres and Mick Barry here, all closing up on Steve Hefford. They've got to kind of be careful because it is the first race, and I think with this league, Dan, I think we decided that, you know, they've got to kind of do all 4 races to maximise their evening.
Yeah, they do, but what I did not expect, I have to be honest, James, is the fact that Pete van Gool would be this much off the pace, 4.1 seconds back from the lead. 1 second back from Mick Barry. Not to take anything away, of course, from Mick Barry, but Pete van Gool, of course, winner of the summer season, down in P7 at the moment and not seeming to have the pace.
Yeah, there has been some incidents here. Just why they've settled down really quickly. We'll bring you this one of our man, Sir Alan Toon, as he's going into the last corner of 11 and 12. He's gone wide. Did he keep it under? He didn't. So there we go. So that would be Alan Toon dropping right the way back down the order. Now, the thing is with this track, though, Dan, is quite new to these guys, and some of them may not have raced this before. So is that where the issue lies, do you think, with the fact that the track sort of being known to the track?
Well, Pete van Gool normally is he's a good driver in general. You have drivers that excel at certain tracks, but Pete van Gool is normally a driver that is in at least the top 5 of this championship on at least every track. He just has that natural talent. So I don't know what it is. He did not set lap time in practice. In qualifying, he only did 1 or 2 laps, and yeah, in the race he doesn't seem to have the pace either.
Yeah, he is as well. Zach, do we only have 1 race? No, we have 4. And Daan is absolutely battering Van Gaal, poor guy. Yeah, I'm sure Daan will settle down. Don't you worry about that. Daan will settle down. We've got Roger Morton and currently Craig Jones here. These guys are going at it. Literally separated by about 4 tenths at the moment. We know Craig's got to be looking at coming through the field. He's got to try and do the job overall, Dan, to kind of move it up. But it is the first race, so is it really as important as, you know, we think it is at this stage?
Well, if you look at the end of the championship, James, there's always a race where you can say if you lost it by 2 or 3 points, where you can say that was the race. So yes, in that thing, I do think that every race is important.
Yeah, exactly. There was Ralph Cullinan did close all the way back up on Steve Hefford momentarily till he's dropped back out again, but Roger Morton is not letting up on Craig Jones. Craig has got his work cut out here with Roger Morton. Now these guys were having a little bit of a ding-dong in the AMs last season as well, so I think Roger Morton there has got, if I'm not mistaken, on the rear left of that MX5 there is a picture of a certain lady who unfortunately just passed away. There it is. That is the commemorative livery that Roger Morton must be running for, obviously, Queen Elizabeth II, which did recently pass away. Unfortunately, just gone as well this weekend. So that would be why that livery has changed. Whether or not he'll keep that for a season, we will only try and find out from Roger Morton, or whether or not this will be a one-off. But that is why that livery has changed for that one. As we see Craig Jones run wide, he's going to put himself under great heaps of pressure. There's also movement up front as well with Steve Hefford and Ralph Cullinan. Steve there as well, managing to hold on to that position, but it's going to be down here. Whether or not Craig Jones, he's lost a position to Roger Morton. Well, it looked like it was coming. Craig didn't look like he was as quick as Morton, did he?
No, he overtook him, but wasn't able to really have the pace to drive away from him. We know that the slipstream in these MX5 cars is really powerful, so you need a little bit of overspeed over the car behind to really drive away with that toe. And especially on a track like this with a lot of straights, that's very difficult to do.
Well, one man who's not getting away is Steve Hefford, away from Ralph Cullinan there, the Irishman, closing all over the back of him. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Mick Barry is also rocking the commemorative livery. Yes, he is. Pete Van Gaal's managed to get past Mick, but Mick Barry has also got the commemorative Queen's livery as well. So again, whether or not that will last for the season, we will have to keep a close eye on that one. Newman's closing all over the back there as well of Daniel Hunt, but Mick Barry is not giving Pete Van Gaal an easy ride here, and he's making him work for it as Mick looks to go down the inside into turn 1. Is he going to make this stick? Mick Barry, car 675, Pete Van Gaal on the left. Pete's going to run him round the outside. Can he hold the car? He's over the outside edge of the circuit, and that has allowed, is he not going to close the door? He's not going to close the door. He's going to keep it open. And Mick Barry, all Mick's got to do is really let the car run. There's a collision. Oh!
That's not what you want to see, James. The track kind of tightens up there, so it's something that you could expect there, but yeah, that's really, really unfortunate for both of them.
Yeah, exactly. And this is where it's now going to get spicy now, because we've got Jamie Ayres, Elise Main, Van Gaal and Jacqueline all within, well, barely half a second of each other currently. Ayres has gone past Main. Can Van Gaal follow through down this tricky downhill section? It's not the easy section. We've got Martin Sampson, the ever-charging Martin Sampson from Optical Blue joining in as well. So we are going to end up with an absolute epic 5-way fight here in the middle of the pack currently as well from the UK SimRacers.
Yeah, it's Jamie Ayres in front of this pack. Elise Main is in second if you look on your shot right now. And then it's Pete Van Gaal. Pete Van Gaal now pressurizing Elise Main. But it was Elise Main.
Jump forward, Dan. I believe Daniel Hunt was under a heap of pressure from Pete Newman, has managed to hold on to the position but makes a mistake going into turn one. This has allowed Newman to come right up beside him and settles back in behind him. So as we go back to this gaggle of cars here with Elise Main, sorry they're down, but they were getting close up front.
They were, but Elise Main now under pressure from Pete Van Gool. She tried it down the inside of this corner, of this exact corner on Jamie Ayres. Did not work, and now she's under pressure from Pete Van Gool. He's going to look around the outside of turn 10. It's turn 11 we go. No, that's what I said.
Where are you? Have you teleported forward on the circuit?
I mixed up my corners. That was turn 5. It looks really similar to turn 10, but they're going into turn 6 right now. Down the hill they go. Very tricky session to go through side by side. But Pete Van Gool now past Elise Main.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Van Gool's gone in deep. That's allowed Main to come through, and nearly Carl Jacquelet's made it through as well. And that has put Pete Van Gool under pressure from Martin Sampson. And that's allowed Jamie Ayres a little bit of breathing space here up front of this pack of cars. Jamie Ayres, of course, is in 5th place. The draft up front is closing. You can see it here with Steve Hefford and Ralph Cullinan. Steve driving ultra defensive there. And now here he comes. He's going to allow Ralph Cullinan to look at coming up the inside. Ralph doesn't make it stick this time around. We've got 3 minutes. Steve Hefford's gone wide. He's managing to keep the throttling down. That corner seems quite forgiving there, that turn, you know, coming around into turn 1, because they've got that little runoff area, haven't they?
Yeah, it does, but it seems like we see a lot of mistakes, and that might be what you said. It's a very new track to these drivers, and I think that's why these mistakes are being made this much, because normally we see them, we see them follow the ideal line, and he's going to try it around the outside. I think it's Steve Hefford now. No, Ralph Cullinan trying it on Steve Hefford. He's going to try and hang around the outside. Is he going to be able to do it this downhill section? Not able to go through there side by side. Very difficult to do, but now maybe the inside for Ralph Cullinan. Not able to do it. Has to settle behind for another lap.
Yeah, I had to settle there as well. Is that no point fighting now with how close it is? Making moves now is basically pointless until the last 2 laps. It is. So let's see what happens here as well. These guys up front are half a second apart. Steve Hefford is 3/10. You can see him at the top end of your screen. And then there's battles all the way through the field here, guys. There's this pack of battles here. There's Mick Barry attacking Darrell Wright. There's Roger Morton trying to get on to the back of Craig Jones. And then there's Craig Crawford and Dale Bennison, who's also rocking the livery as well, that we've talked about as well. So Darrell Wright is looking at making moves here, currently on the left-hand side of your track, on your screen, sorry, with Mick Barry going to make the move through. He did. Mick Barry did move up there. Carl Jacquelet, however, is under attack from Van Gool here, Dan. We're going to have at least 2 more laps. We're going to have this one and 1 more. Where would you go? You know, we're not drivers, are we? We're not in these MX5s. We're not in this absolutely amazing series. Where would you look at making your moves? Would you go now, or would you go try and get it in the last lap? Because Pete Newman here and Daniel Hunt are trying to go side by side in a very difficult downhill section. And yeah, both drivers currently make it through okay, but they're not giving up.
They're not giving up. It's amazing to see them fight side by side through that difficult 6, 7, and 8 and 9 section. They're still side by side going into turn 11 and 12 on the exit. Danny Hunt comes out ahead once again, but it's Pete Newman with the better line onto the straight. He takes a shorter line through that last turn 13, and he's up the inside now. I think this is done.
No, I don't believe they got to the last lap. I think they crossed the last lap with about 3 seconds remaining. There is no Barney waving frantically there as well. So this is going to be this lap and 1 more. These guys just made this lap here as well. So we're going to be officially under 12 laps here with Pete Newman now taking the lead. Steve Hefford has nearly lost that place to Ralph Cullinan, and further back as well, Pete Van Gool was trying to go side by side with Carl Jacquelet. Carl has been involved in some unfortunate incidents last season here as well. He gets his elbows out about Van Gool there. He didn't allow Van Gool to come through, did he?
No, he didn't, and we almost saw the same incident that happened between Pete Van Gool and Elise Main, but luckily this time Carl Jacquelet noticed that Pete Van Gool was on the outside.
Yeah, and Daniel Hunt is not giving up his charge here of Pete Newman. Last lap pass maybe, Dan?
Well, Pete Newman now finally passed, but yeah, if I was Daniel Hunt, maybe, because it's the first race, I would try an all or nothing move. But yeah, you could say that it's stupid to try this early on in the season, but this early on in the season, there's also no risk, as we now go on to the final lap with literally 1 second left.
Yeah, literally on the final lap. I did say it was close. Daniel Hunt is on the right-hand side. Pete Newman on the right now. He's on Daniel Hunt on the left. As we go down into turn one, Daniel Hunt's trying to take that much better normal natural line and is closed right up the back of Newman here. This is going to be an absolutely epic last fight, and so is Steve Pepels and Ralph Cullinan. We will keep an eye on the other fights as well, guys, but look at the lead battle here down on the final lap of the race.
It's the final lap of the race, and now coming down the long straight, we go through turn 5. Now I got my corner name right. He's pushed him onto the grass. They're side by side going into the tricky turn 6, 7, and 8. But still a long straight to go before that. Now we drop downhill. Can they keep it side by side once again through here, or is Danny Hunt going to come out ahead? They're still side by side. He has to give him room, and Danny Hunt is now finally up ahead once again. But Pete Newman crosses back. They do touch. But Danny Hunt keeps it in a straight line.
Oh, only just there. There's a big, big hello love tap from Pete Newman there. There has been an incident involving Martin Sampson and Craig Jones. We will have a look back at that one very shortly to see what happened. But it did put Martin Sampson into the pits. But Daniel Hunt is going to come across the line for your race one, Victor. I want to get back to Steve Pepels and Ralph Cullinan. Ralph has cleared Steve, so Ralph got third. I'll show you how that happened very shortly. But at the moment, it's Steve Pepels in fourth, Jamie Ayres in fifth. Elise Main, their first race of the season, a consistent sixth place. Pete Van Gaal down in eighth. Now let's have a look how Ralph Cullinan passed Steve Pepels here after the checkered flag. Steve there as well as they go around now. Oh, he's gone wide in turn 9. Wide in 9, that allowed him through. And here is what happened to Martin Sampson. And I believe he was involved with Pete Van Gaal. Oh! Now, where was Craig Jones? Because Craig Jones went off not long after this. So we'll keep an eye quickly. Oh no! Arriving on the scene, and there was Martin Sampson around the other way. So there we go, unbelievable racing. First race of the season, as always. And here are the results of race 1. So we've got Daniel Hunt in first, Pete Newman second, Ralph Cullinan third, Steve Pepels fourth, Jamie Ayres in fifth, Elise Main sixth, Carl Jackalett seventh, Pete Van Gaal eighth, Mick Barry ninth, Darrell Wright 10th, Roger Morton 11th, Craig Jones 12th, Charles Kellerman 13th, Dale Bennison 14th, Craig Crawford 15th, Sir Alan Toon 16th, Martin Sampson 17th, Steve Hansford in 18th place. Right, guys, we are going to go onto a BRB screen really quickly, just while we change over sessions, and we'll be right back very shortly. Okay, guys, we are back and up and running, and race 1 is finished. And Dan, what can we say about race 1? Absolutely epic racing as always.
Yeah, as always, some absolutely epic action. A last lap overtake for the win. Last lap crashes, which we did expect in the end, because it is the first race, so nothing to lose really. But yeah, it's as we expected. Some amazing fights all over the field, and yeah, a beautiful comeback from Greg Jones. So all in all, I think a good first race of the season.
Yeah, absolutely as well. And I think it's interesting to see we had Hunt, Newman and Cullinan were your top 3. So if you have missed it, guys, you can watch back. That would be absolutely incredible. I did whack a poll up in chat as well. Who do you think is going to win race 2? We got Newman, Hunt and the Hefford. Now be aware, it's normally a reverse grid. And I know there was issues setting up the session. So we may end up with a reverse grid yet as well. So that could lead to some interesting racing anyway. And what does it mean, though, Dan, when we talk about reverse grids, you know, not everybody can grasp what we're on about. So, you know, give me a rundown of a top 14 reverse. What does it mean for the grid?
Well, it basically means that you take the result, or, yeah, just the result of any session, qualifying, race 1, race 2, doesn't matter. You take that result, you basically turn your sheet around, and that is your starting positions for the race after that. That is very simply said, but yeah, that's how I see it.
That's roughly, yeah. So, yeah, that's it. Michael David there as well. I'm going to win. Well, we'll see, Mike. See how you get on. But yeah, basically, so if people didn't understand what Dan was saying, if it's a top 14 reverse, if you win, you start in 14th. There you go. And then it goes second, will start 13th, third will start 12th, and all the way down through the order. So there we go. But don't forget to get your votes in as well, guys, and see who you think will win race 2. Pete Newman, Daniel Hunt, Pete Van Gaal, or Steve Hefford. They are currently on there to see if we can get, see who you think will be the winner. Who's your money on, Dan?
My money is on Pete Newman. Pete Van Gaal was also in there, so not really. I don't really feel it with Pete this evening. I don't know what it is, but yeah. Normally I would bet my money on Pete because, of course, summer season champion. You know, if you can bet your money on someone, I say the safest option to go for is the man who won the championship last season. So.
There you go. So get your votes in there, guys, as well. Reverse grid, says Michael. Everyone starts facing backwards. That's it, mate. And they only allow driving around the circuit in reverse as well, which we did see, actually. I did see in a P-Cup, recently P-Cup league that I broadcasted. One of the drivers finished a race and then he decided to drive the whole track in reverse. And it was quite spectacular. He managed to make it all the way through around the circuit in reverse. So fair play to him there as well for making it all the way around there as well. So a massive shout out to Richard Simner, who decided to drive a P-Cup car in reverse.
I think that has a name, actually. They do it in NASCAR as well. It is called a something victory lap.
A something victory lap? What's
yeah,
the
it's
something
named after someone. It's named after someone who did it first. So he decided to drive the track backwards after he had won, but I don't know who it was.
Right, okay. So there we go, guys, as well. The grid is up for race 2. So we've got Charles Kellerman in first, Craig Jones second, Roger Morton third, Darrell Wright fourth, Mick Barry fifth, Pete Van Gaal sixth, Carl Jacklett seventh, Elise Main eighth, Jamie Ayres ninth, Steve Everett 10th, Ralph Cullen 11, Pete Newman there as well, down in 12th place. Daniel Hunt 13th, Dale Bennison 14th, Craig Crawford 15th, Alan Toot 16th, Martin Sampson 17th, Steve Hansford 18th. So we're looking at top 13 reverse, which is what we said would happen. So here we go now as well. So that puts Charles Kellerman and Craig Jones near the front of the grid. What do we reckon? Craig's not shown a lot of pace tonight, Dan. Is this going to be a tough one for Craig, do you think?
I think it is, but it's not like he's one of the slowest in the AM class, so I think starting from the pole position in the AM class, he can do well.
Right, here we go. 4 lights, 5 lights. And away we go. Kellerman on the right, car 67. Craig Jones on the left as these guys go racing down towards turn 1. And then we've got the commemorative liveries of the guys from Mick Barry from the Results Club in there as well. He's gone across the track. Oh, it's a big collision in the middle. Massive. Started with Darrell Wright, Martin Sampson, Darrell Wright, Craig Crawford. They're all involved. We'll have a look back at that one very shortly when they get past lap 1 down, but that was massive.
Yeah, it seems like Steve Hefford and Ralph Cullen involved in that one as well, but Craig Jones, what a rocket start he has had, up into P1 already.
Yeah, absolutely. So there is Craig Jones trying to take it away, pull open a gap from Kellerman and Van Gool. But I've got to say that looked absolutely horrendous, and it started, Dan, about here with Darrell Wright. So there is Darrell on the right hand side. He runs wide, top part of your screen, and then here comes everyone else. Steve Hefford, Ralph Cullen and Daniel Hunt, Martin Sampson. Then it was off again. That's Ralph getting punted twice, and that was absolutely huge. And then guys going crazy there as well, with about 5 cars on track down. That was massive.
Yeah, but what do we say, James? Was it because it looked like he was spinning, but kind of kept it, but had to brake? So is it then the fault of the upcoming drivers not knowing as we're going 3 wide into turn 1? Do they keep it 3 wide? No, they don't. Call Jacklett on the outside.
I don't know. Mick Barry here, got Pete Barry, Jamie Hurst, Carl Jacklett, and Pete Newman right behind him. You got Van Gool, Craig Jones, and Roger Morton up the front end. So get your votes in now, guys. Where do we think we're going to be come the end of this session? I'll show you up the gainers now. Who's gained the biggest positions? Jones up 1, Van Gool up 4, Newman 5, Ayres 4, Hansford down in 11th place there. Dan is up 7 positions.
7 positions. He took that crash in the first corner and flew by everyone. I think that's what happened.
Yeah, he cleared a lot of the traffic there as well. But this is Jamie Ayres and Mick Barry as these guys go running down into 11 and 12. Mick's got a tough choice here now, isn't he? Because deep down, Mick's a realistic kind of guy. He knows that he hasn't got quite the speed of Jamie Ayres. He hasn't got quite the speed of Van Gool and Newman behind him. So what do? Do you just let him go?
Well, being in my position, I normally never let anyone go, except if he's like seconds faster.
Oh, no!
Inside. That was a move from very far back, and I don't think that was intended by Pete Newman. But that is Pete Newman off once again, and that is my money gone, I think.
Yeah, Newman went for a 2-for-1, and he didn't quite get it, but Craig Jones now is under attack from Roger Morton. The AM battles are commencing. We've got Van Gool Pro, AM Craig Jones, AM Roger Morton, AM Mick Barry. So the AMs are putting up a good show, holding down 3 of the top 4 places at the moment. And if you've got Van Gool, if you've got Newman, your money's in for a doubt. So we're going to end the poll there, so nobody can change their situation. So Newman was on 40% of the votes, Hunt on 20, Van Gool 20, Hefford 20. So it's going to be a bit of an up in arms here because we've got Pete Van Gool leading us away, Dan. What do we think here? We've got 9 laps to go.
Well, I think with me saying that I wasn't feeling it, Pete Van Gool made him mad. He's now 1.1 ahead of everyone else. And I think that is going to even increase because at the beginning of the lap it was a 10th over Craig Jones, as we can see. Half a second quicker. Yeah, Pete Van Gool really, really quick now. But Craig Jones here, just keeping out of Roger Morton. Last race, it was Craig Jones making a mistake, allowing Roger Morton past again. If Craig Jones doesn't make a mistake this time round, he can make it very, very difficult for Roger Morton to pass here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the thing. Craig gets a little bit squirrely there as he's coming around the turn 2 and 3. You can see from the sector times, Van Gool's 25.261. He's flying in sector 1. opening up gaps across these guys here as well. He's got the fastest lap of the race on a 1:22.03. So Pete Bengal has set the purples on the left-hand side. You can see it, 1:22.029. He is flying at the moment.
But then what I'm asking myself, James, is where has that pace come from? Because in race 1, he was nowhere.
Yeah, it's a tough one, because at the end of the day, I think that, you know, from Pete's perspective, if he can't get the setup right, if he can't get, you know, if he's not used to the track, it's going to be a hard one, isn't it?
Yeah, but it seems like you said, it's Pete van Gool getting in his groove. 21.7 now, once again. Or this is over 1.1 seconds quicker than Greg Jones and Roger Morton behind him. He's just learning the track and picking up the pace.
Yeah, Carl Jacqueline is trying to pick up the pace as well. Got Lador squeezed on him. Daniel Hunt now with the fastest lap of the race on a 1:21.716. He's just made moves past Charles Kellerman, and Daniel Hunt is flying. He is currently a man on the move and has got a mission and a half here to try and catch up with the guys in front. He's got a second gap to Jacqueline, who's got a 4.6-second gap from Barry to Morton. So that's going to be a gap that's even going to be even more difficult to try and close down.
Yeah, it seems like Carl Jacqueline is closing McBarry down at a rapid rate, but he has to get past first. And as we always say, it's one thing to catch up, but it's another to get past.
Yeah, they have, Michael, reading your message there as well. They have talked about the changes that came to the MX5. They seem to see it's a lot more looser. I haven't been in the car myself this week, unfortunately, since the update, but the car itself does seem a lot more looser and is causing a little bit more of an issues for the driver handling over the first few laps. They're telling me that it's somewhat more of a Bambi on ice than it is of tyres on black stuff. So, you know, we're going to have to keep an eye, because a lot of drivers seem to be getting used to it now, but at the end of the day, it's a difficult one for anybody who's new to the series.
Yeah, McBarry now up. He's on the inside, defending from Carl Jacqueline. Are they going to make it 3 wide? Jamie Ayres having a look around the outside. Doesn't do so, but Carl Jacqueline now past. Oh, and is that McBarry slowing down there? Does he have a slowdown? That would
No, well, he bounced the chicane there, Dan. He bounced the chicane and went off, and then he had to hit the brakes and couldn't accelerate because the car was getting all squirrely, and he had to give the car a minute to settle before he could go onto the throttle. So that was why he didn't go anywhere this time around.
Okay, well, now Carl Jacqueline is past McBarry, but it's Jamie Ayres now pressurizing him from behind. And as I think we do see a little mistake. This time, Pete Newman making his way through the grid after that spin at turn 1. And that is Pete Newman past Sir Alan Toon.
Yeah, 12th place there as well. Oh, that's Jacqueline in the wall. Jacqueline's facing the wrong way. Now, was that doing of his own? I want to have a look back, because I got to see if this was on his own doing. We've got Ayres on the right-hand side here. They've come into the last 2 corners.
Ah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, unfortunate there as well for Carl Jacqueline. Pete Newman is already up to the back of Hansford and is making his way through the field. God bless the Queen. Hi, guys. Sorry I could not be with you tonight. I'm away without my rig. Oh, Andy Littler, where you at? Anyway, good? Where are you off to there as well? So setup is going to be even bigger early in races now. Yes, it will. I think Dan, with this car, in its current format, the days of that really loose setup that we all run over the first few laps is kind of got to tighten up now, because it's going to be almost double the amount of looseness that it was originally with the changes that have come in.
Yeah, well, I have never been a fan of a loose rear end. I don't know why, as it is. Oh, Pete Newman already catching up to the back of Carl Jacqueline. Carl Jacqueline goes around together with Pete Newman. This is a race for Pete Newman to forget really, really quickly. Here we're going to see it again. Carl Jacqueline minding his own business. And, oh, that was Was that Pete Newman going in so hot? I do think it
Yeah,
was.
I think it was as well. There as well. So Jamie Ayres, you're in London. Oh, you up there for the Queen's thing, Andy? Are you up there for the Queen's thing, buddy? As we can see, Daniel Hunt trying to make moves round past Jamie Ayres, and he got the job done there, Dan.
Yeah, he did, but not gone yet. Jamie Ayres still looking to try and overtake. Yeah, does look like now he's finally got past and driving away now.
Yeah, and one man that's kind of disappeared off into the world is this young gentleman who we all doubted in race 1 in Mr. Pete Van Gaal. Now, in the middle of that, there is a Craig Jones, a Roger Morton battle that has been commencing throughout the entire race 2 as they got 4 laps remaining. And then behind that, we've got a Daniel Hunt, Jamie Ayres battle. So it's getting even more spicier than it was originally. And I think these guys now, Mick Barry is also locked in a battle here as well. So there's 2 pockets of fights throughout this sort of race period here in this current race 2. And I think it's going to be an interesting one to see how this one materializes. You can see it on your track map there. You got 2 and 3, 4 and 5. Then you got 6 and 6 has got a break, and then you got 7 and 8. So at least Maine is in the front of these 2, but there is battles up front with Roger Morton, who's just cleared Craig Jones now, and Roger Morton takes 2nd place. Both of them run wide in turn 1, but they're going to have to get a bit of a boot on because Jamie Ayres and Daniel Hunt are coming side by side, Dan, into turn 2 and 3.
If they want to catch up to Roger Morton and Craig Jones, they have to stop fighting. But of course, Jamie Ayres does not want to let that position go. Daniel Hunt now has to stick it around the outside to go on to the long straight through turn 5. Then on to a long straight once again, heading down into turn 6, 7, and 8, that downhill section. Are they going to be able to make it side by side through there, James?
No, maybe, I don't know. We've got 2 experienced drivers in Ayres and Hunt here, so they both know what the game is. You know, we saw it possible with Hunt and Newman, but I don't know if that's where it comes into. You know, these guys have raced together for a long, long time and are more than capable at doing things like this, you know, of going side-by-side racing. Charles Kellerman and Dale Benison, however, have just swapped there as well. Kellerman is trying to make his way back through, but Dale Benison is not giving up. Mick Barry, sorry, is not giving up that position here easy. Kellerman, so we got Kellerman went past Barry. Barry went past Kellerman. Kellerman went past Barry, and Barry is just past Kellerman again. So they've swapped backwards and forwards 4 times in the space of literally, basically any time at all, as they go with 2 laps remaining. It's going to be a tough one. Have you noticed the Queen on the bonnet of all the results cars? Yes, I have. Where are they going? Where are they going? Mick Barry and Charles Kellerman. I think Kellerman got a big dose of tunnel vision there.
Yeah.
As they went into turn 1.
James, if we look at P2 and 3, is my memory just telling me something different? But Roger Morton and Craig Jones have swapped positions.
Yeah, Roger Morton has got past Craig Jones, but he did that a few laps back, Dan. Where have you been, Dan, son?
Looking at the battle between Mick Barry and Charles Kellerman.
And they're still going at it now, Mick Barry and Charles Kellerman there as well. But Morton and Craig Jones, now the battle of the AMs. Morton seems to have got speed this season. He's come into the first few races and he seems to be up on the pace this season. He's gone away over the last couple of weeks and he's put in the laps. And he's not making it easy for Craig Jones, is he?
Oh, no, he's not, but the gap is so close that I think, James, this could be a case of track-to-track difference, because if Craig Jones is better on the other track, this is really wide from Roger Morton, but for some reason it pays off and it increases the gap. As we've seen now, at least main side by side with Jamie Ayres.
Yeah, Ayres has just gone through on that one. So there you go. Ayres has just got through there as they go on lap 11. So the leader who's at the top of the hill is on the track map number 1. He's up on turn 6 as well. Currently, there he goes. So Jamie Ayres and Elise Main. Elise Main is not giving up. Daniel Hunt is cleared off down the road a little bit opened it up about a 4.7 second gap currently at the moment. Jamie Ayres went off track, and that's why he is where he is at the moment, because obviously they were battling with Hunt, and Ayres went off track, so that's why he is where he is. And Main gets a big old puff of tyre, side-by-side slide action going on there. And so does Darrell Wright and Dale Benison from the Work Guy teams. These guys are having a battle as well as we're on the final lap of the race. Pete Van Gool takes the white flag. He's driven well, Pete, isn't he? There's been no stopping him from the beginning.
Yeah, well, I have to apologize to Pete. I doubted him after the first race, but yeah, he is in a world of his own here in race 2. And yeah, a gap of 8.1 seconds. It's quite big.
Quite big, yeah. It's definitely an interesting one. There you go, Andy Littler, just for you, the Queen, on the front of Roger Morton's bonnet. And I believe her face is on the back right arch as well. So there we go. But that is the new livery on the results cards currently as well. Not on Craig Jones or Ralph Cullinan's, but it's on Roger Morton, Mick Barry, Dale Benison, and was it? No, I don't think that was it. I think that was the 3. Pete Van Gool for the victory. That's all you got to say in it, Dan, really.
Oh, does he? Oh, for a moment I thought that Pete Van Gool was going to disconnect just before the line, but luckily he doesn't. With a gap of 8.9 seconds, he's going to come across the line. And he was in a world of his own in race 2. Doubted him in race 1. Have to apologize to him. But 9 seconds is the gap in the end. Comes through to win. Roger Morton wins in the AM class. Gets an overall podium. And Craig Jones once again has to settle for second in the AM class. And Daniel Hunt comes through in P4 overall. Ahead of Jamie Ayres and Elise Main. Elise Main once again performing consistently. And just behind that is Mick Barry together with Charles Kellyman.
Yep, and then here is the Hansford, Toon and Wright battle there as well. As these guys come across the line, there you go. That was a little bit more kind of, I'm not going to say relaxed, because that's not quite what I mean, but it seemed a little, yeah, it seemed a little bit more settled, didn't it, necessarily?
Yeah, not a lot of big fights going on, really. Of course, with the battle for the lead, obviously gone with Pete Van Gool that far out in the lead, was it did change the race. Let's say it like that.
There you go, Dan. The results are up for you there, buddy.
Pete Van Gool is in first. Once again, I doubted him in the first race. Second race, he performed like he normally did. 8 seconds over Roger Morton, our winner in the AM class, ahead of Craig Jones. 2/10 only in the end, that gap for the win in the AM class. Daniel Hunt in P4 takes second in the Pro class, and third in the Pro class is Jamie Ayres in 5th overall. Elise Main in 6th. Third in the AM class is Mick Barry in P7 overall. 8th is Charles Kellyman. 9th, Dale Benison. 10th, Darrell Wright. 11th, Steve Hansford. 12th, Sir Alan Toon. Carl Jacqueline in P13. Craig Crawford in P14. Pete Newman in P5. In P15. Pete Newman, a race for him to quickly forget. Not the race he would have wanted. Steve Hefford in P16, P17 for Ralph Cullinan, and P18 for Martin Sampson.
Yeah, there we go. Pete Newman did not have a good race. Light Brigade there, even in all. Congrats on the second race, PVG. Well done, Roger and Craig, on your podiums. That is, of course, Andy Maxwell in chat there has come and joined us. We are now, guys, as well, due to the situation of the sessions, we are going to jump out, be on the BRB screen, and I promise you, we'll be right back very, very shortly.
4
All right,
minutes.
guys, we are back. We got 4 minutes left. So, Mr. Sweeney there as well. Missing you, Andy. He didn't run out of talent. Craig Jones, be nice. That been completely absent for the last couple. If someone wants to fill me in real quick. So we've got race 2. We have Pete Van Gaal winning the overall by 8 seconds. Roger Morton and Craig Jones were second and third, respectively. And there was battles all the way through. And there was also a race to forget for the one and only Pete Newman. He had a very bad race and unfortunately finished 2 laps out. He didn't finish the race. So there we go. That's a basic rundown on what happened in race 2. It wasn't as action-packed. Got to say, it was a little bit more timid than race 1, but I'm sure these guys will put on a show for us over the next few races. We still got 2 more races to go here tonight as well, and we come into the 3 minutes remaining of practice. It was a little bit more timid, Dan, that race, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It's not what we're normally used to here in the UkSimracers MX5 on Tuesday, but yeah, it's sometimes you have those races, and sometimes it's actually good to have those races.
Yeah, exactly, and I think that's the important thing as well to get that across. Is the grid influenced by the previous results? They are. There will be a reverse grid as well, so we will wait for the grid to pop up. Unfortunately, because we've had to go into a continuous news session, we won't see that until we're up and running and ready to go when the grid comes in. But we've only got 2 minutes to wait to see where these drivers end up on this grid for race 3, and it's going to be always epic when there is a reverse grid anyway, so you know it's going to be even more, and you'll have the same for race 4 as well, Zach. So thank you so much for coming back and joining us. If you are here for the first time as well, don't forget to subscribe, like, and turn on your bells at this time. Okay, so turn on your bells for notifications of when we go live. Bangers are only bangers when you have stinkers to count to them. It's what makes them special. Bangers are only is that sausages are only sausages, Dan? Because we call bangers sausages in the UK. I wonder what that means by that.
I don't really know. I don't know English slang, but the thing that I know is bratwurst is bratwurst. There you go.
There you go. There you go. You only know good versus bad because you've seen both. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And this is one of the good ones. I do love this league as well. And we're into our 3rd season here on JPB for broadcasting this league. So we are 3 seasons. We're coming in to the 3rd season here as well, which is the autumn season. So we've done the spring, the summer, and the autumn so far. So be aware, we will bring you the overalls as they're up and running about who is leading the overall session. So what we're going to do is the overalls will be the only overall victor from the season so far, and then we'll show you the AMs and pros, who's leading the AMs and pros for this season only. Okay, I know it's complicated, but trust me, if you've seen the score sheet, this is going to be the easiest way of giving it to you for the results, because they do get complicated with drop week, safest drivers, fastest laps, and God knows what else. Banger equals sausage, but also means like really good. If it was a banging race, it was a really good one. It was a banging race. It was a mass pile-up at the beginning that unfortunately Martin Sampson, Steve Pefford was involved with as well. So there you go. Hopefully we'll have some drivers jump in, chat with us as well after this race. And we can have a chat to some of them. I'm sure Pete Van Gaal doesn't mind coming in for a conversation. He always does. And I'm sure we'll get Craig Jones and Ralph Cullinan will join us as well. And we'll hear about Ralph's 3rd place in race 1. He didn't do too well in race 2, did he?
No, well...
He was 12 laps down. He definitely did not do well.
No, he will be looking to do better here in this race. It's not difficult to do that once you're 12 laps down. But yeah, a race like Pete Newman to forget, move on, and yeah, maybe if you count a drop week, maybe do this week if you of course don't have any other bad weeks.
Exactly, we have come to the end of practice. James doesn't know anything about food. You know when James is hungry when he's commentating, because the food puns start coming out in race 3 and 4. So be aware. When the food puns comes out, you know I'm getting hungry. Right, the grid is up and running there as well for you. So we've got Steve Hansford on pole, Pete Van Gogh second, Craig Crawford third, Carl Jaglet fourth, Jamie Ayres fifth, Charles Kellerman sixth, Daniel Hunt seventh, Dale Bennison eighth, Pete Newman ninth, Mick Barry 10th, Ralph Cullen 11th, Steve Hefford is down in 12th, Elise Main 13th, Darrell Wright 14th, Martin Sampson 15th, Roger Morton 16th, Craig Jones 17th, Sir Alan Toon at the back of the grid in 18th place there. So it's going to be another interesting one. You know, Pete Van Gogh is near the front. Ignore that timing tower on your left-hand side. I promise you that will settle down. Because currently, that grid wasn't correct.
Yeah.
It wasn't. Dale Bennison is in front. I'm not quite sure what happened with the grid there as well, but we've got 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, 4 race free. And we are underway. Charles Kellerman and Dale Bernison leading us off here for the optical green and work hard by results respectively as these guys go racing down into turn 1. Bennison, car number 37, Elise Main trying to make a move forward. She's been shunted by Mick Barry. There was contact between Mick Barry, Steve Evans at the back. Oh no, Steve Evans, Ralph Cullinan, Pete Newman. The 4 main protagonists, Martin Sampson as well. And here we go. And this is what happened to these guys at the back. Ralph Cullinan there is right at the back of the field. Newman's gone through. Contact with Cullinan, Sampson, Newman, and Hefford.
Oh, no. Pete Newman once again caught up in that, and he had nothing to do with that. He was well past the incident, but yeah, unfortunately for him, got caught up once again.
Yeah, and also as well, this man, Craig Jones, has been involved in an incident. I'll have a quick look here as well from Craig. He's automatically going slow there as well. Pete Van Gogh trying to warm himself up. Craig Jones just runs wide and goes off. But back up front, Kellerman is leading us away with Daniel Hunt here in second place. Currently, we'll bring you up the gainers on the left-hand side. Hunt up 4. Right up 2, Jacqueline 4, Sampson up 6. Even though he was involved in that incident, it just goes to show he's done an absolute stellar job there as well. As Dale Bennison is facing the wrong way and is dropping down the order faster than an elevator at Trump Towers there, unfortunately. So he's gone off as well. So poor old Dale Bennison has not had a good one. Kellerman's under attack from Hunt. Hunt's just about to take the lead into turn 1 and does so. Wow, Dan, this one's all to go and we've only 2 laps in.
Yeah, Danny Hunt now up to P1. Just Kellerman behind that. I think once Danny Hunt can now try and make a gap very close to that wall there, and that wall does not give. So, but I think once he gets away from these guys now, it's really his to lose. Yeah, because all the main protagonists have crashed in the first corner on the first lap.
Yeah, exactly. And I think for Daniel Hunt now, he's just got to keep it on track. So he's got to have he's just got to have a nice calm race. He's out in front. He's got Kellerman behind, who's being chased down by Elise Main, who's doing an absolute stellar job, currently up 1 in third. But Carl Jaglet and Roger Morton are having an interesting battle with Jamie Ayres. So this should be interesting as this one materializes as well. How they get on here, you know, because they're sat in that pocket, aren't they? They're occupying currently 3rd, 5th, 6th and 7th. So, you know, they've got to really decide on what's going to be the best course of action for them guys.
Yeah, they've got to look. Is it better for us to catch up to Mick Barry in P4 altogether? Or do we want to fight for the positions and maybe lose touch with Mick Barry? That's the thing that they've got to look at now. But, well, Elise Main, could you not say as we're going to go side by side into turn 1? Oh, Jamie Ayres trying to make that move on Carl Jaglet, who's facing the wrong way. Charles Kellerman dropping down the order. Currently P9. There he is on the left-hand side of your screen. You saw him going through the grass. That's him off. And that's not where you want to be.
Oh! Steve Hefford, Tokyo Drift in the MX5. And in, wow, race of 3, Steve Hefford, Tokyo Drift. Into turn 2 and 3. Absolutely incredible for him.
Do we have an onboard from Charles Kellerman maybe on board? Because that must be a terrifying sight to see when all of a sudden Steve Hefford comes flying past.
I think we can try and see where he went off. He's gone wide in turn 1, so he's gone round. Oh!
Overcorrected a little bit, I think.
Yeah, and then as we get him to go back round, he starts trundling across the grass.
Well, what would you have done here, James? Would you go onto the left onto the asphalt again?
No,
Or
I would have taken the line he has. I would have taken the line, gone out as wide as we can. But here
look
comes.
here now.
Whoa!
Whoa! That must be scary.
Yeah. See a red Momo car absolutely flying at you, I think would be. But here we are, back up front, Jacqueline Ayres and car number 92, Roger Morton, all in the mix. Mick Barry is leading the AM class. Currently, Daniel Hunt in the pros. That is represented by the yellow and blue stripes on the timing tower on your left-hand side. And currently, Carl Jacqueline sitting in 4th place. But he's not sitting comfortably here, is he, really, when you look at the battle behind him?
No, he's not. Jamie Ayres trying to make that pass. Roger Morton and Darryl Wright in the background lurking as well. Both of them trying to make it past those two. Jamie Ayres now up the inside. He's going to be able to make that pass stick. Yes, he is. And now eyes to the front to Mick Barry, try and catch up. But like I said, I got to look what they want to do, because the gap now is opened up to 4.3 seconds with them fighting. And it's not only Jamie Ayres coming through, it's Roger Morton trying to make the pass and Carl Jacqueline as well. And Carl Jacqueline into the wall after the touch with Roger Morton side by side now for Ralph Cullen. And I think that's Roger Sampson as well.
Martin Sampson, yeah. Wow, this one is not so calm, as Elise Main is now in 2nd place, chased down by Mick Barry. Unbelievable racing so far.
Yeah, and once again, Elise Main, like I wanted to say, it's not often, James, that you see Elise Main lose positions from her starting position. So I'm trying to find logic in that. And is it just that she's really good at defending her position? Because you rarely see her lose any positions from where she starts. It doesn't matter which position she starts from.
No, she's up to currently at the moment, and I think the job for Elise is doesn't ever put herself in positions that almost, I suppose, she can't control. You know, she always has the people goes off in front of them. And I think that's the thing for Elise. She's never one to be in that situation where she's involved in accidents. She always manages to get through accidents unscathed and then goes on to reap the benefits, as we can see Hefford, Toon and Hansford here having a good old ding-dong as these guys are coming into the final corner. That is Hefford through. Oh, Toon's got up the inside. Oh, Alan Toon. Around you go, son. Fangal is coming back through as well. But Alan Toon, yeah, Alan Toon got a little bit out of shape and is now down that order. I tell you what, though, with Elise Main, Mick Barry still keeping her under pressure there, mate.
Yeah, Mick Barry doing a stellar job here by pressurizing Elise Main. Not letting her get anywhere, but that's always definitely helping him down the straights, of course. It's helping him getting closer to Elise Main. Maybe, just maybe, he can try and go for a move.
Yeah, maybe Mick Barry can stay close enough to Main as well. Kellerman has got an interesting battle going on here with Steve Hansford to car 67 and 57, both from the same team, of course. They're from Optical Green. And there's Hefford in front, who's trying to get his way back through the field. But of course, we saw that somewhat amazing Tokyo drift style from Steve Hefford in turns 2 and 3. I'm not quite sure what I would have done there, Dan, apart from just held on and hope for the best.
Yeah, what else can't you, or what else can you do?
Well, nothing.
Exactly.
Nothing. I think that's the thing. He was coming anyway, and it was just a matter of time how we arrived on the scene, as we see Ralph Cullen did the fastest lap on a mode 121.346. But I think from Charles Kellerman's point of view, there was nowhere to do it. I would have done the same thing. I wouldn't have tried to go off, as we see him at close go past Steve Hansford. I wouldn't have tried to take the left-hand side. I would have run as wide as I did last time, you know, as wide as he did to come back. But it was just, of course, we have the other on rushing Steve Hefford coming into play sort of later on.
Yeah. Roger Morton now, though, Pressurized by Pete Newman. He's going to try and a little bit further up the order after disappointing race 2. Of course, caught up in an incident in lap 1 again for Pete Newman, but he's now going to try and look around the outside of Ralph Cullinan, and he is now, never mind, off Roger Morton. I have to learn these liveries, James. But yeah, off Roger Morton, he's now passed and eyes to the front to Darrell Wright.
Yeah, exactly. He is through. Newman is through. He's got to try and close up a 3.6 second gap over Wright. Martin Sampson is having a battle with Steve Hansford here. He's going to make the move on the inside as these guys come into 11 and 12. So that is Martin Sampson through and clear. Roger Morton now, unfortunately, is under attack from Ralph Cullinan, which is an interesting one as well, because Cullinan's, you know, he had a great race 1, bad race 2, and a somewhat indifferent race 3, but he is up 9 positions currently at the moment.
Yeah, he is, but I mean, he's still ahead of Greg Jones, which we said before is his main championship rival if you look at the past championships. But yeah, it's Greg Jones not having an evening to remember.
No, Cullinan on the left-hand side as these guys going up around turn 6 before they head down into 7 and 8. The tricky right, left, right. So they've gone left, then they're going to go right, then they're going to go left again and try and get that car settled for the tight left-hander of 9, which they all make it through and quite happily as well. Pete Newman there currently on the fastest first sector on a 25.15. So Pete Newman is flying currently at the moment, as we're going to have a look from the lap times from Newman over Wright, which is his main rival. He's been quicker across the boards. Lap 7, Wright was a little bit quicker, but Newman pulled out 6 tenths over lap 8 there, Dan.
Yeah, Pete Newman, gap ahead of him now, 2.3 seconds, and closing into that, but also Ralph Cullinan not able to have an answer to the pace that Pete Newman is driving at the moment.
No, and this is going to be an interesting one. That is Alan Toon. Where is the on-rushing Craig Jones? There he is.
Oh, no.
Them two having a coming together, Jones and Toon again, unfortunately for them guys. But at least Main still holding off second place from Mick Barry. He's opened up about just above 3 tenths of a second gap currently there as well. So at least Main doing a stellar job holding them off. Charles Kellerman is now onto the back end of Steve Pepper. This is one of your closest battles on track. Newman is also locked in a battle as well. We'll keep an eye on that one as it goes along. But as I say, guys, if you are here for the first time, please hit the subscribe button, turn on the bells for notifications, and don't forget to give the video a big old thumbs up if you haven't already, as we launch the new UkSimracers Season 3 autumn season here on the JPB YouTube channel. So as we see Newman do the fastest lap of the race on a 121.27. So Newman is on a flyer. He's caught up and passed Darrell Wright already. That was the quickest 3 seconds I think I've ever seen Newman take into consideration now, as he's on lap 10. And just down the road there in front of us is Jamie Ayres. What do we reckon? Newman going to get Ayres?
It's 3.3 seconds that he has to close up in what will be 1.5 laps. If he can do it, stellar job by him, but I don't think that he has the pace over Jamie Ayres to catch up within 2.5 laps.
Well, I'll keep an eye on the thing. He pulled out a second over that last lap. A second.
Yeah, but that's not going to be enough in the end.
No, it's not.
3 seconds.
No, it's not. Ayres is on a 121.8 fastest lap. Newman on a 121.266. The gap currently is just out at about 3.5 seconds. So it is a big ask, but yeah, we'll have to see how that one pulls out as Elise Main and Mick Barry swap positions again. Mick Barry going past Elise Main this time around. Is Elise looking at coming back up the inside of turn 1 on the right-hand side, car number 66. No, but obviously he's got to be careful because they've got the on-rushing Jamie Ayres there behind her. So this could be an interesting final 1.5 laps for Elise Main there. Depends what she tries to do against Jamie Ayres. Just a hunch, but I think Hunt is going to win. Yeah, oh, you reckon? Well, the 11-second gap, Zach. I think you might be right, mate. He's lapping. He's just gone past Craig Jones in 17th place. So there is our leader there. Look, we'll have a look at Daniel Hunt, completely on his own. 11 seconds ahead of Mick Barry in second place, who's in a battle with Elise Main and Jamie Ayres. So see how this one pans out. But I think Zach, you might be right. I think Daniel Hunt is going to win. Elise Main allows Jamie Ayres to go through. Does she? Yes. Jamie Ayres does take third place overall and is now setting his sights on Mick Barry. Daniel Hunt is taking the white flag, and Mick Barry is going to come across and take the white flag as well. Do we think Barry's going to hold on to this second place with Jamie Ayres closing up as fast as he is?
At the moment, Mick Barry seems to have stellar pace. He's really quick, once again on an overall podium, but Jamie Ayres really quick, closing up really quickly. But where is he going to do it in this last lap? He still has about a second to close up, and when he has closed up, he still needs to overtake. So I can't see an opportunity for Jamie Ayres to overtake Mick Barry.
Ooh, bold words there, Dan. Bold words.
It's not a long lap, so everything is against Jamie Ayres here making that pass, because the gap is still 7 tenths and we have about a good 7 or 8 corners left. So yeah, don't think it's gonna happen, James. Oh, never mind.
Oh, sorry, Dan, what?
Oh yeah. I am sorry, Mick Barry. I commentators curse you. That's my one used for the evening. Daniel Hunt though comes through to win, 14 seconds ahead of what is now Jamie Ayres. A dominant performance from Daniel Hunt. Jamie Ayres comes through with a gifted P2, might I add. Elise Main comes through in third. Once again, a consistent performance by her. But Pete Newman up to P4 once again. Here is then Steve Hafford just ahead of Martin Sampson. But yeah, James, unfortunate there. Oh, gutted by that.
Mick, that was all Dan. That was all Dan. Mick Barry went into the barrier, he did, and this is what happened with Mick Barry. In the final half of the lap, he comes through, down through 7 and 8. He didn't get the car stopped for 9, and unfortunately he went in to the barrier. So, well, that was a shame.
Yeah, why is it, James, that you can say that Daniel Hunt is leading by 14 seconds and just lapping? And if I say, well, I think that Mick Barry's going to keep ahead of Jamie Ayres, and then it goes horribly wrong.
Well, that's all on you, mate. That's all on you. But to redeem yourself, you can read the results there, buddy.
With pain in my heart, I have to say Daniel Hunt comes through in first and Jamie Ayres in second. A well-earned second place there. Put Mick Barry under pressure, and he did crack. Elise Main in third, Pete Newman in fourth, Ralph Cullinan in fifth. Winning the AM classes, Daryl Wright in P6 overall, Carl Jacquelet in P7, P8, but P2 in the AM Championship is Roger Morton. Charles Kellyman in P9, P10 for Steve Hefford. Martin Sampson in P11, P12, but P3 in the AM class is Steve Hansford. Pete Van Gool in P13. Greg Crawford in P14, Dale Bennison in P15, 17 Craig Jones, and 18 Sir Alan Toon.
So there we go. As Dan has gone and put Mick Barry into the barrier for race 3.
I'm sorry, Mick. If much this match, he's gonna be fuming.
Yeah, there as well. I love the fact Zach's put Mick went into the barrier. So Mick, in reference to Mick Barry, going into the barrier there as well. So well done
Carry
to
on.
you, barrier. So Mick Barry going into the barrier. Right. That rounds out race 3, guys. This will all settle down, I promise you, with the constant changes. But for now, as always, we're going to jump onto a BRB and we'll be back shortly. Okay, guys, we are back for the final race of the evening. The final poll is up in chat. Who you feel is going to take the victory in race 4? We got 3.5 minutes remaining. We had Hunt, Ayres, and Main were your top 3 in race 3. There's 2 victories for Daniel Hunt tonight, so well done to him. And a mixed bag for everybody else this evening. But your final poll of the evening there is up and running. To get your votes in, who will win, take the victory for race 4? Dan, how you feeling?
Yeah. Let's say that I'm not feeling well after that horrible commentator's curse, but hey, I have to ask you, am I allowed to vote as well? Because basically the one I vote on, everyone else don't vote on him because he will not win.
Go for it if you want to vote.
Once again, Pete Newman. He has had enough tough luck this evening, and I think he's run out of tough luck now. He's going to get lucky finally, and he will finally come through to win.
Okay, well, there you go. Unfortunately for Craig Jones, that's not looking too good for him. But guys, if you are here, please subscribe, thumbs up, and turn on the bells for your notifications of when we go live every single week. And we're going to have, very shortly, there's going to be racing every single night on the JPB YouTube channel. So we've got the UK SimRacers is tonight. We're going to have the RRS Radical Race Series is going to be on Thursday. That's going to be covered by myself and Evan O'Leary there as well. And then on Sunday, we're starting off with a Radical SimRacers Endurance Series. So pay attention to that one. We go into next week, and this is where it's going to get interesting because we've got UK SimRacers on Tuesday. Next Gen GT3 on Wednesday. Radical Race Series on Thursday. Radical Sim Racing World Cup starts next week as well. So we've got the European leg will go live at 8 o'clock. And then we got the Americas leg at 1 a.m. We then go into the UTC round 1 and 2. That kicks off again as well as they start season 2. So that is coming to the JPB YouTube channel. So get tuned in for that one because that's going to be not one to miss either. There's a lot going on down there this next week.
You know what I always say, James? The more racing, the better. I'm a person who just loves every form of racing. It doesn't matter if it's on 2 wheels, if it's on 4 wheels. If it's racing, I'm watching it.
Absolutely, and we've got enough of it coming up. We've got GT3s, we've got Radicals, we've got MX5s. It's going to be a battle of everything. And then just to top it all off, we've got touring cars. And then in a few weeks, we've got ovals as well coming to the JBB YouTube channel. So guys, you're not going to want to miss any of this racing. So please, please, please get subscribing. If you're watching it back, subscribe, thumbs up, and turn on the bells for all the notifications because there's a lot going on as we enter into the final race of the evening, coming down to the final 36 seconds or 30 seconds of practice to go. And then we're going for a 12-lap battle. Who's going to win?
Yes, before we go in to the race, I don't want you to sit on the fence once again. Who is going to win? I said mine. Who's your money on?
Elise Main.
Ooh. Yeah, that could be a good one as well.
Elise Main. I think consistency tonight, third in the last one. If she can keep it clean at the beginning, she's in for a shout.
Yeah. I think if she can just keep it consistent and finish in the top 4 once again, she might be leading the championship after this one.
I think so, as well. We see Barney the flower bearer waving frantically here tonight. So let's have a look at the grid. It is correct. Off you go, Dan.
Steve Hansford will start this race.
You have to go quick, Dan. They're already on the grid. Go.
Martin Sampson in second, Steve Hansford third, fourth, Charles Kellyman fifth, Roger Morton sixth, Carl Jacklett seventh, Darrell Wright In P8 is Rolf Cullen, in P9 Pete Newman, P10 Elise May, 11 Jamie Ayres, 12 Daniel Hunt, Pete Van Gool is in 13, 14 Greg Crawford, 15 Dale Bennison, 16 Mick Barry, 17 Greg Jones, Sir Alan Toon is in 18. World record.
There you go. Right, lights are on. Dan speed reading the grid there for race 3 or 4, the final race of the evening. And we are green, green, green for race 4 here. Martin Sampson is currently in front. Steve Heffert's got an absolute barnstormer and is taken second place away there from Charles Kellerman. They are going in 3 and 4 wide. There's people gone around here as well. Carl Jackley's been involved. Steve Hansford has also been involved as well. Another rotten start. Whoa, OBS is disconnected and reconnected. I'm hoping that has all come back on and up and going. OBS going a little bit crazy for me. I really don't want that on race 4. But Pete Newman now is up into 5th place. We'll bring you the gainers already there, Dan, but there's been a few incidents and one of them involving Carl Jackley.
Yeah, one of them involving Carl Jacklin and one of them involving, of course, Steve Hansford, down 15, of course. But yeah, Pete Newman up 5 at the moment. Craig Jones up 5 as well, and Pete Van Gool up 5 as well. Now goes down a position, loses 1 position to Jamie Ayres and Darrell Wright.
Yeah, absolutely manic battles going on. This is race 4. This is what we expect. Dale Bennison is locked in a battle here as well with Craig Jones behind them, Mick Barry, Craig Crawford, Alan Toon, and of course we've got Carl Jacklett trying to make his way back through the field, and there goes Dale Bennison. Too much gas too early, and unfortunately it's gone wrong. Mick Barry and Alan Toon, so they're all involved in race 4, Mick Barry and Alan Toon, but it started here with Dale Bennison. As he went off, he's coming into this last corner, Dan, and he's just whacked the hammer down way too early, and away and around he goes. There's Mick Barry done the same. There's Alan Toon. It's like a trio of slalom as they all make it there as well. But Steve Effort's currently out in front by about 2.18 seconds.
Yeah, this time it wasn't me.
And it weren't me either. They did it on their own. All on their own tonight, Dan. That was none of us.
Agreed.
However, Daniel Hunt is looking at making the move on the inside of Elise Main. Elise Main gives him room, and that is Daniel Hunt up into 6th place. Now Elise, the only problem with Elise, has got Jamie Ayres tucked up right behind him. Newman is tucked up behind. Kellerman and Cullinan. Say that when you've had too many. Yeah, say that on a night out after Friday. Blimey.
It's difficult to say. Kellerman and Cullinan.
Kellerman and Cullinan. There as well. They're going to be 3 wide down into turn 1. Newman on the left, Kellerman in the middle, Cullinan on the right. Who's going to submit to the pressure? It's going to be Kellerman has submitted, but Newman has made the gap and has come back on track and has taken 2nd position. So it's Hefford and Newman now are your top 2.
Looks like I've kind of redeemed myself. Pete Newman, like I said, he has enough unlucky things have happened to him this evening. He is out of unluck. So yeah, finally some luck for him in race 4. Carving through the field, 2.8 seconds the gap now to Steve Hefford in 1st place. But yeah, he has Ralph Cullinan and Charles Kellyman behind him to with him.
Yeah, now Newman is winning the pole. I've just realised I put Killinen in chat, so a good old typo from me on the pole there. So it's supposed to be Cullinan, who is currently in 3rd place, still within that opportunity of taking a victory. Maybe he can, as we've seen it previously, but Elise Main has lost a position to Jamie Ayres and has now got Pete Van Gool closing up on her as well. But stellar evening for Main really tonight, Dan. You know, top 10 every single time. I can't think of a time she was outside the top 10. We have had 4 races of complete and utter madness. But she's sitting in 7th place again.
Yeah, once again up 3 positions. And once again, very consistent from her, and it's kind of what we expect now from her, don't we?
I think that is it. Miss consistency.
Oh, under pressure now. And okay, yeah, the curse is real.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
Yeah, what else can I say?
I'm not really sure, but Van Gaal is under attack from Jones. I think Van Gaal must have got a slowdown then as well, because he's going really slowly. Just lost a position to the recovering Carl Jacqueline as well. Oh, I don't know. How can that one come any worse? Just say some misconsistency, and there goes, bounces it over the curb, and unfortunately is now down the order in 12th place. So Elise, I'm sorry, I'd take that one on the chin. That is all me. So there we go. And is now sliding down the order like absolutely crazy here as well, and is now down in 13th, just been passed by Dale Bennison. So not a good recovery for Elise Main. Charles Kellerman is obviously down in 5th. He's trying to withhold Jamie Ayres, who is closing at a rate of knots currently as well. Last time out, 122.8 for Kellerman, 121, 122.6. No, 122.8 for Kellerman. And Ayres did a 123.4, but Ayres looks quicker this time around, Dan, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it might be a mistake in the last lap from Ayres that allowed Kellerman through. But yeah, it looks like Jamie Ayres at the moment is actually faster.
Yeah, it does. I want to show you something in a minute that will make us all kind of grit our teeth and think, how did this happen? As we're just watching Jamie Ayres go up the inside of 6 on Charles Kellerman. Long looping right, and then we're going to go left hand, and then we're going to go right and left again. And then we're going to have a quick look at this.
Pete Van Gaal, what did he do this time around? Did he touch the curb in the wrong way or the grass? What has happened here then?
Something isn't right. Yeah, something isn't right there as well. But Newman now is locked up to the back of Hefford. Hefford's got 50% race distance left, 6 laps. Cullinan's closing, Hunt is closing, Kellerman's closing on Ayres as well. Kellerman is trying to defend like absolute crazy. Ayres is trying to clear him as best he can. Not really making it through at the moment. However, this is going to get spicy very quickly.
Yeah, Pete Van Gaal finally caught up to the back of Steve Hefford. 4 tenths the gap is now. The faster Pete Newman can get past this, the bigger of a gap he will have to Ralph Cullinan and Daniel Hunt behind him, because Daniel Hunt, that is on a charge as well. About to overtake Ralph Cullinan up the inside. It will go off difficult turn 6, 7, and 8. And it is Steve Hefford. Oh, side by side they are. Daniel Hunt and Ralph Cullinan. And Daniel Hunt has done it, but not without a touch. And they both did well to keep those cars going in a straight line, James.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a little bit worried about what's going to happen now, because we're going to have, within about a lap and a half time, I reckon, there's going to be Daniel Hunt, Pete Newman, Steve Hefford. Now, anybody that's watched this racing will know that that is a mouth-watering prospect of these guys going at it. And here comes Newman. Newman is looking to take the race victory. And he's made it stick, Dan.
He's made it stick up into P1, but he still has to watch out. Steve Hefford is going to fight for this one. He's not going to let Pete Newman run away with it. But it looks like Pete Newman now has the move finished and getting very close to that wall there, James.
Yeah, Daniel Hunt wasn't too far off either. Daniel Hunt was properly side by side with the wall and had to take this kind of evasive action to make sure he didn't hit it. But Hefford is towing Hunt here up alongside Newman. Hefford playing a massive part in the tow there for Daniel Hunt. But here we go. It's going to be turning into a 4-way. I reckon Ralph Cullinan is going to be sat back waiting there for what actually is going to happen. But Craig Jones has got Carl Jacqueline all over the back of him as well. Further down the order, and as you can see there from the times on your timing tower on the left-hand side, if they're orange, they're really close, which is what we can see here. If they're yellow, they're half a second. So this is where the 4-way action will begin. And as you can see in the background, that is Jamie Ayres and Charles Kellerman. This is going to be tough, Dan, because these 4 drivers here are no slouches in these MX5s. And one mistake, and it could be over for all of them.
Yeah, I do think, though, James, that Steve Hefford is probably the one who's going to try and attack Pete Newman, if anyone. It's either Daniel Hunt gets past Steve Hefford, or I think it's going to stay this way.
You reckon?
It doesn't look. Yeah, it doesn't look like Steve Hefford generally has the pace to keep up with Pete Newman over the long term.
But does Daniel Hunt?
Yeah, but he first has to get past. Otherwise, he can't catch up if Steve doesn't have the pace.
But do you reckon the draft will... Is that what we're saying? The draft is going to be looking at keeping Hefford closer here, though?
If he can keep close, I think he can. Maybe he can stay within a second, but I think once that gap gets bigger than a second and a half, I think Pete Newman is off.
He was nearly off there, Dan, as well.
Yeah, but I think once that gap opens up to 1.5 seconds, Pete Newman will be driving away from these. But Daniel Hunt, not waiting too long with it, already side by side with Steve Hefford. He's going to make this move, stick into turn 1, up the inside he goes. Steve Hefford goes really wide, and that is him off, I think.
Where's he gone? Oh, he's there. There he goes, back on. So he's made to lose a position to Ralph Cullinan and Daniel Hunt. Oh! Newman!
No!
Newman's gone round! Oh, no!
Daniel
Oh,
as
no!
well!
Here he comes! Ralph Cullinan has been gifted first place on lap 9. For all of you that did not vote for Ralph Cullinan in the poll, that is your undoing, partly because I didn't know who Killian was and you spelt him wrong, James. That's a fair point. But Ralph Cullinan has just been gifted first place, and that's what we were talking about. We said when they get close like this, this is what can happen. Newman got on the gas far too early, ran wide.
Oh, no.
He went round, then his car's still running, Hunt, and then Hefford. And Newman's up, and Hunt was nearly over the top of the barrier, but that's what can happen when you have close racing like we did then.
Yeah. Well, James, from my perspective, or if I look at it, just that first replay, there's a little bit of blame on Pete Newman.
Steady.
Steady. And why? Yeah, but why do I say this? Just a little bit of blame. But why do I say this? Because he did not hold his brakes. He thought that he could save the car. You saw it on his steering lock. His steering lock was fully to the right. He thought maybe I can let the car roll and keep it going in a straight line. If he would have been on the brakes, I think Steve Hefford would have easily gone up the inside and gone past.
Could he have stopped that car though? Because it was always going that direction.
Yeah, but you know, it's easy to talk about that afterwards. It's difficult to make those decisions in the moment itself. So that's why I'm saying there's just a tiny percentage.
You're a brave man for putting your neck on the line there, big boy. I'll tell you that much. All DMs, please send them to Daan Pepels, courtesy of notjpbbroadcasting.co.uk. If anybody has any issues with the controversy that Dan is causing us in chat at the moment. But at the moment, I know, mate, and that's what we're here to do. We are here to be honest. But was that one of them situations where he couldn't hold it though, Dan? Like, he was up in the air, he was on the curb, his brakes wouldn't have done much anyway. Do you know what I mean?
No, I don't know yet. It would have changed the trajectory of the car. But yeah, I think it was just too eager to get it going once again, as we all would do, because who wants to spin out in the lead? And if you can catch it, you can catch it. But Elise Main trying to go up the inside of Craig Crawford. Let's look at this first. Is Elise Main going to be allowed past by Craig Crawford? Of course. You can see both teammates in the optical cars, and Craig Crawford does allow Elise Main to go past. and she recovers to P6. She's now up 4 positions, and she has recovered from everything she's lost from that crash.
Now here's one man we haven't talked about much, is the secret silent recovery of Craig Jones for the final race. He's up 13 positions.
Wow.
Currently. True beneficiary of the incidents there. Cullinan up 7, Ayres up 9, Kellerman 1, Jones 13. Jacklett 1 after his earlier incident at the beginning of the race. Main up 4, Crawford up 7. Now, do we only hit the people that have lost positions? So Hansford down 7, Hefford 11, Sampson 16, Morton 17. Wow, that is a big old losses.
A lot of retirement, James. Normally we don't see this in the UKSR.
No.
MX5 league, but yeah, it seems like this first race of the season has taken a hit for most drivers. But yeah, Ralph Cullinan 1.6 seconds ahead of Jamie Ayres now, and if everything goes well this last lap, he should have this in the bag.
Yeah, hopefully it should without much there
Any
as well, any curses. Roger Morton, he hasn't got me to race. I'm a little bit confused by that, mate. Please just let me know what that means as we follow Ralph Cullinan down the run of 10. He has got 3 corners remaining before he comes in for his first victory of the evening. And Ralph Cullinan is going to win race 4. Ayres is in second place. Kellerman, absolutely amazing. Race 4 there, finishes in third. Now, could you, or could you have not held this, Dan? I don't know if he could have.
Well, once again, we look at the incident, but it would have been difficult, I think. But
he's
here,
full right. He's full right. Look.
No, if he would have held the brakes, he would have been on the outside. And once again, I have to re-sentence it, not take the blame for it, but it could have went differently if he held the brakes. It's not that he should take the blame of it. No one should take the blame of that. It's a racing incident. He spins.
Look, full lock to the right. And that was coming to a stop, though. I don't think your perspective on that would have been...
His wheels were still turning at the end of his spin. If he would have held his brakes, I think his wheel would have been... Or his tires would have not been turning anymore.
Oh, he's a brave man. Craig on his own. Yeah, Craig Jones is on his own there, Roger. I got what you mean now. Yes, you two were battling together all the way through that as well. So, yeah, I see what you mean. Craig on his own. Yes, he is on his own. And he's just now Cullinan coming into the pits. We're going to have one very happy Irishman, no doubt, here as well. So let's see if we can get some of them in for a chat. And we'll see who we can pull in. But while we chase down these people, Dan, for the final time this evening, off you go. You can take your time now, Dan. The race is finished.
Okay. So I don't have to set a world record. Ralph Cullinan will win race 4, our last race of the evening. Jamie Ayres, after a, well, what has been a difficult race for some people, will come through in P2, and Charles Kellyman in P3. Great result from all 3 of those guys. And Craig Jones takes his first victory of the autumn season. He gets through into P4 overall, but in the win of the AM class. Carl Jacklett in P5 ahead of Elise Main. She recovered well. P5 in the pro class and P6 overall after that incident she had earlier on in the race. Craig Crawford in P7 and second in the AM class. And Mick Barry recovers to P3 after, a sad incident in race 3. But, Mick Barry, P3 in the AM class and 8th overall. Steve Hansford in P9. P10 is for Dale Bennison. P11 for Darrell Wright. P12 for Sir Alan Toon. And 13 will be Pete Van Gool. Steve Heffert in P14. P15, Pete Newman. Daniel Hunt in P16. Roger Morton in P17. And P18 for Martin Sampson.
Beaten up is what I feel. Yeah, I was really unlucky. I knew it was going to be a lively night, to be honest. The car is amazing, but it's so loose on. It moves around a lot more, and you can't stamp on the pedal. You know what I mean? But it's really loose on the first, like, maybe lap 1 and 2. It's like you're driving on ice at times. But then, I mean, the last race probably. To be honest, once I saw Peter got past, I was sort of driving in my mirrors then, but and that was a bit of my own fault driving off because I was in the position I was in because I went wide at turn 1, just pushing it too far, and the tyres tend to go off as well. I felt like as the race went on, you had to sort of bring your brake markers back a bit more. I think the car, and there's loads of different ways you can damage the car now as well, that ultimately ruin your night kind of thing. So. Yeah, you just got to take the rough with the smooth, haven't you? Yeah, it drifts really good. I did this track not so much, but I did some Watkins. It's the advanced. Is at Watkins this week with the full boot, the full layout with the chicane and stuff, and the car feels really, really good. It's a nice flowy track, and you can proper drift it around corners. The car is amazing now. A lot of people are complaining about it, saying that it's too twitchy, and you've got to be correcting it all the time. But you have. I mean, the amount of times that you turn in and the car oversteers and you end up going round with opposite lock on, and it just glides around kind of thing. I think it's going to be really good. To be fair, once we get the setups nailed for it, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
So, how much of a bigger how much of a bigger part our setup's going to play now?
Well, we were on plus tonight. I mean, I can't remember the last time I was on a plus toe on the rear. We like it really loose, but it's that loose now. +2 is doable. So, and Dan, I think it was Dan Hunt was saying some of the fast guys have been on like +7 or something like that on the toes, which is pretty much unheard of. I mean, the car, you used to be able to, you could just about get it loose enough on the old settings, but this you can take it too far, So I think setups will play a bigger part as the season goes on. See who gets the setups nailed first. But yeah, it's just something else to throw into the mix, isn't it? Just before we get rain, and that's going to be different again, isn't it?
Well, hopefully we talked about this off air, Stephen. We had a load of conversation about the rain. Hopefully it's coming.
Yeah,
we know, don't we? We know.
I think the end of this year. I think it's going to be raining at Christmas. Our windscreen wipers are working now, so.
Oh well, there you go. Hopefully we will. New Hampshire Motor Speedway road course next week. Now,
yes,
you've been responsible for putting together, I reckon, one of the most banging seasons of race cars that I think I've seen for a while. New Hampshire, is a different kettle of fish, isn't it?
Well, this is somewhere we try and go every year because it is an amazing track. The road layout of this track is just phenomenal. You come off an oval halfway down the straight, up over the banking, out onto over a bit of a hump, and then you go into a tight hairpin that's got loads of camber, and then down into a car park, and It's like going shopping, you know. It's an amazing track. If you've never been there, yeah, you're in for a proper treat.
No, I haven't. So I look forward to that one. But Steve, we got Roger waiting patiently in the booth. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Yeah,
And,
cheers, guys.
Look forward to seeing you next week.
Take it easy. Have a good week. Cheers, bye.
Bye. All right, so let's bring in Roger into the booth. Mr. Morton, how are you?
Very well, you?
I'm wonderful, as always, buddy. I'm wonderful on a Tuesday evening where I've just sat and watched 4 races of absolutely incredible racing. But I want to talk about it, mate. Where's this pace come from? Because you and Craig Jones have been flying with each other.
I've just tried to determine to try and keep up with Craig. That's my aim this season. Unfortunately, race 4 didn't go to plan, but we'll ignore that one. But yeah, within the teams, there was Mick and Darryl that constantly chatting to each other, saying, "Yeah, I'll let you through." I wasn't doing that with Craig. I was racing Craig. We weren't missing about like that. We were purely having a good race, and it was good to race. Like, enjoyed it.
Yeah, absolutely incredible evening. You know, we'll ignore race 4, as we said, but race 1, 2, and 3 were amazing. Now, we've spoke about setup and how important it is at the racetracks, especially with the new MX5 build. You know, we're going to New Hampshire next week, Roger. Have you raced at New Hampshire yourself before?
I think so. I can't remember. I think so.
You think so? Okay. Well,
yeah, I'll find out when I get to the track, won't I, if I know it or not.
Yeah, exactly. That's the. Yeah, mate. I think that's going to be the thing.
To be fair, I don't mind the new the build, the MX5 build. It's all right. I'm still using the old setup. It's a bit loose on first lap, but once you got through that first lap phase, it's really good. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, you seem to have exceptional pace this evening, mate. So well done to you, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week in New Hampshire.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.
So also sitting in the booth is Charles Kellerman. Charles is waiting patiently for us. Charles, how are you, sir?
I'm very well. Totally relaxed after a week's break, but yeah, it's been a good start to the season. Yeah, not too bad for me.
Yeah, not too bad at all. 3rd in the last race.
Yes, I think I got lucky there.
Oh, you did get lucky. Pete Newman, Steve Hefford and Daniel Hunt had a somewhat of a coming together, should we just say?
Yes.
That unfortunately put them 3 down the order. But, you know, at the end of the day, this was only, you know, the first round.
Yeah.
Getting used to the new setup of the MX5?
Exactly. So, as you may know, I was away last week, and I was kind of hearing somebody sent me a link to a forum post to say that the car's changed, and you know, I was reading through that. I'm thinking, oh my goodness, these guys are at home practicing with a new car, and I've not been able to get in. Bought the track tonight, jumped in. I thought, yes, this is very different, but you know what? I actually quite like the new car. I don't know what they've done exactly, but yeah, it's a bit more lively, shall we say?
Yeah, they've changed a lot of things, haven't they? They've changed the damage. They've changed the damage across the board, I think, to be honest, to do with the force that you hit the wall and how much damage is perceived and so on and so forth, you know. And I think, you know, most people are going to be getting used to it over the first few races. But overall, everybody seemed a lot quicker tonight. You know, Roger Morton was flying along nicely, you know, and Craig Jones had a bit of an up and down night, but...
Yes, we were saying that in our chat. You know, he's been. It seems like and it might be to do with the new car because I know he doesn't tend to practice. He just jumps on the night. So I'm not quite sure whether it's that the same as me. But yeah, I think some people who have, even Martin Sampson, he's had chance to practice in the car and he had a torrid night tonight. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's just on the night how you fare. So yeah, some good, some bad.
Absolutely. We go to New Hampshire next week, mate. That's going to be an exciting one for us, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah. I'll have to do a lot of practice before that, before next week's race. I have raced it before, but I can't remember it that well. Of course, with the new car, I'll need to do some tweaks to the setup and see what I can get out of it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, congrats, mate, tonight as well. Nice on your third place in race 4, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week at New Hampshire.
Thank you very much, and see you next week.
Take care, buddy.
Bye bye.
All right, so we've got Carl Jackalett waiting in the waiting room for me. Carl, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Few health issues, but apart from that, no, doing all right.
Okay. How has your evening been of racing? Now, I'm going to say that in a precarious way. Been a bit of a rough night, hasn't it?
It has. It has. I'm going to have to put a bigger bumper on the back of the car.
I'm not quite sure what you're going to need, mate. I thought I was going to run down with bubble wrap and give you that and see if that would help, because you were involved in incidents that weren't always necessarily at all your fault.
I'm glad you think that.
Well, and look, dude, at the end of the day, we've all had incidents, haven't we? Look, we can't do a lot about it. But it's a tough one with incidents, though, Carl, isn't it? Let's be real. They're all racing. Everybody's racing together. We're just watching the one at the start. That necessarily wasn't your mistake either. I believe that was Steve Hansford coming up the inside of you.
It was a bit. He did say on the mic.
It was tough, wasn't it, tonight for yourself? But what can you take away the positives? Is there positives from tonight, Carl?
Yeah, it didn't break the car.
Well,
Finished every race.
There you go.
Several people did break the car and didn't finish.
Mm-hmm.
So, the car's a little bit more twitchy with this latest build, which suits the quicker drivers. Enjoyed it. Really enjoyed that track. It's a very, very difficult technical track. Very difficult to overtake on. A good challenge. But no, I survived the night. Where am I in the points? Reasonably high up in the points.
Yeah, well, you got 5th tonight, so that was always good. I believe, I'm just waiting, I think the points have been updated. So you're
I'm at 6th. 6th overall.
6th overall. Jamie is currently leading with Elise Main in 2nd. Craig Jones. Elise Main did have a good night. I'm surprised Craig's where he is, though, to be honest. He had a bit of an up and down night. So did Pete Van Gogh. Head on to New Hampshire.
And we lead the team championship.
And you lead the team championship as well. Optical Red 979.
Oh,
now,
I'll take that from the night.
Exactly. And we go on to New Hampshire next week, mate. What's your thoughts?
I actually don't remember what the track looks like.
Mate, no, there's a lot going on. I haven't been there before for a race series, so there's a lot going on with ovals and into a car park, according to Steve Hefford. So, we're both going to be finding this out as we go along, mate.
I'd rather have just the oval, personally.
Me too.
Love oval racing. We should do more of it, especially in slower cars.
I do like the next gen series, though.
Not really looked. I need to find something else to race as well.
Have a go, mate. You should see it. You should see it.
Just racing this every week is not enough at the moment.
Well, maybe drop me a DM and we'll have a chat offline. But Carl, you did finish 5th overall. So positives. And we look forward to seeing you next week, mate. I can't wait.
That was from the back up to 5th. So
was. Well, on our system, obviously you only gained from where your grid was, so you only gained 1 place.
Yeah, I know.
But obviously, you were at 18th and went all the way to 5th, so technically you gained 13. We'll ignore the first little bit, mate. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
All right.
But no, it's been a really good evening. Really enjoyed it, even with the
up and down,
the odd knocks and things. It's a long season. Finished every race, and that's what counts.
Absolutely, there, buddy. And you got points.
It's easy to make a mistake.
Yeah, exactly. No worries there, bud. Well, thank you so much for joining me in the booth. I'm going to wrap this up
Always
for the
a
evening,
pleasure.
Carl, and I'll look forward to maybe chatting to you again next week.
Yeah, I look forward to it.
So there we go, guys. That brings us to the end of the broadcast this evening here tonight. And what an incredible night of action it has been as well. So thank you so much for Daan Pepels there who joined me in the booth. As you see in the chat, we did lose him at the end due to a power outage. But everybody who's been joining me in chat as well, Andy Littler, Craig Jones popping in and out, Roger Morton, Zach Sweeney being here as well. Light Brigade, Andy Maxwell, thank you so much for joining us. Michael David, Swift, much love. Mr. Hedge, if you're still here, thank you so much for all joining us as well. Don't forget some of the racing we've got coming up for you guys as well. We got Radicals on Thursday, on the RRS on Thursday, and then we return with the Radical Sim Racing Endurance League on Sunday. All happening on the JBB YouTube channel. So if you are watching it for this time, subscribe, thumbs up, and don't forget to turn on the bells for notifications. If you're watching it back, subscribe, thumbs up, turn on the bells for notifications. But guys, that's it from me. As always, take care. Have a great week. And you never know, I might see you on a track sometime. Good night.